Well, hello there, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to have a conversation about expectations and what to expect from a mall photographer and an independent photographer, because I think people, they think it's just the same thing. It's just some guy walking around taking pics. Wait a minute. Let's break this down just a little bit so you know actually what to ask for, what to expect, and the differences between the two so you know who to hire. All right? So, let's say you just want some standard high key, which means even lighting, there's not like a shadow thing or anything like that, just, standard pictures. That's all you want. Standard backgrounds. You already have that concept in mind. The mall photographer is probably what you're looking for. If you want to do something outside or you want a conceptual idea, because about 90% of independents work outside, about 10% have studios. That can vary per area, but the ones that do, they can create dramatic lighting, they have things, they can create a more interesting portrait, they can do a one light, they can do all these different things that you're looking for. The independents where to go because they have the creative ability to do that. So that's a huge difference. The mall photographer is backed by a company. Company has standards. Typically, speed and consistency is the two things that they are looking at. Where the independent, while there's speed and consistency, that's not the main thing. What they're looking at is to make the image that you want. Right? Something you saw on Pinterest or Instagram or whatever. And you're like, ooh, that looks kind of dramatic. I want to do that. That's the independent. And that's what you get out of them. To the mall guy, the lights are fixed. They're consistent. They can't really move those around. They can't really do stuff. There's a little bit they can do, but not a whole lot. Where the independent guy can do whatever he wants to do. Whatever his knowledge base is, that's what he can do. So, that's a big difference as well. So, when you're looking at expectations and what you're looking for to get out of the photo shoot, those are things to consider. Do you just want the standard image or do you want something more interesting? Not that the independent cannot do the standard image for you, because they can. Okay? It's a standard image. Anybody can do it. So, now here's something to think about, because I know you're thinking cost. How much is this going to cost me? Well, you have to understand something. Let's say you were to lose your house or you had a fire or something like that. Do you know one of the top things people grab? One of the top things people grab is their pictures. Why? Because they're things that cannot be recreated later in life. So, or very rarely, can they be recreated in life. So, it's a very important thing, very important to people to have those pictures. So people get all wrapped up on cost, but they don't want to pay for that cost. It's always kind of fascinated me to an extent. Well, I can just take the picture with my phone. Then do it. Don't call us. Do it. You get what you get. So, with a mall photographer, like I said, they're backed by a company, so their pricing is pretty much fixed on what the package is that the company offers. A lot of times they're kind of print heavy on their end. Not that the independent can't do prints for you, but they're more digitally based, things of this nature. Typically, that's how it works. The mall guy's still gonna, the average package is still gonna cost you $200. They got to stay in business too. They have things that they have to pay for as well. But a lot of times they do run coupons to bring those costs down. Where the independent guy is starting at $200. It's not the average, it's starting at $200, and it can go up to $500 depending on what you're looking to do. Headshots are $100 pretty standard with anybody, but as far as like an actual portrait experience, it's going to run much higher. Because remember, the independent is based on customization towards you. They're buying the lighting, they have the knowledge, they have all these things that can bring that image to life of the concept that you have. They're going to meet you at a location many times, things like this. The mall guy's not going to do that. They're just not. They can't. It's a studio. They work out of a studio. They can't do those things, you know. So, what's your expectation? What are you expecting? Cost-wise, you're going to pay. Either way, you're going to pay. And if you don't like the fact of having to pay somebody to take your picture, do it yourself. I mean, I hate to tell you that. They might not turn out the way you want it. You know, it's hard using the timer sometimes to get things, you know. And, people are people. So, but in any case, now you know the difference between the two, between a mall photographer and an independent photographer. So when you go to hire somebody, you know what to do, what to expect now. You know, if you want to hire me, great. Hey, if you live in Michigan, I'm in the southeast Michigan area, feel free to drop me a line and let's see what we can come up with. So, in any case, now you know, and I'll see you in the next one.